Happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday. I have been ill, as you all know, so we missed last Friday. So welcome back. I am feeling much better and excited to be here with you again today. Before I jump into this episode, I need to say thank you to those of you who bought my book already. It is here. It is here. It is here. It is here. And I am so excited. So, this is the first book in what will be a three-series book. And it is called A Brown Skinned Girl Like Me, The Elementary Years. Yes, it's about this little brown skinned girl right here. So before I jump into this episode, I would actually like to read just the acknowledgement of this book because it is really, really important to me to share this information and to just say thank you. So, very quickly, I am going to do this. Yes, I took out my reader, so this is what happens when you're 54, but still finer. So this book dedication goes a little something like this. So, who knew that a cute little brown-skinned girl like me would one day grow up to become Dr. Tammy Terrell Taylor Reginelli? Here's the beginning of this journey. This snippet from our early elementary years is meant to encourage young girls who may be wondering where they fit in this world. Don't worry, little brown-skinned girl. You are destined for greatness. I believe in you. I dedicate this book to my grandmother, Louise Taylor Wilcher, aka Lula, for never letting me forget that the sky is the limit. And to my three beautiful children who looked at me like the superstar I never knew I was in their eyes. Mom loves you, Sierra, Brianna, and Ashton. Mom thanks you for being my why. There it is, people. We have a book on our hands. So if you are interested in purchasing the book, you most certainly may do so by contacting me on social media or via email at drtammy70@gmail.com. That is drtammy70@gmail.com. And I would be so honored to get a book out to you. So hopefully, you will be getting a book out either for someone you know or your own child. And what is important about this book is it is a teachable moment because many of the words, while it's an elementary book, many of the words are bigger words in which whomever is reading the book to the child will have to talk about it. So that's really important to me. So enough of the educator in me. Yes, it popped out for a moment. If you know me, you know I spent many, many years in a school building, either in the classroom or as an administrator. So that's my spiel on being a brown skinned girl for today. Now, let's jump into this episode. We're going to make it kind of brief today because I know you all are preparing for Valentine's Day. And as a result of that, I am going to talk a little bit about something that you all love to talk about, and that is love. We've spoken about it a number of times on the podcast. We've asked questions, we've had comments, you've shared with me some concerns that you have about relationship building or even your current relationship. Some have even shared that they are looking for a relationship. They're looking to date. They're looking to get back out there. And I'm just going to say to you, if that's what you want to do it. But before we go any further, let me ask the question, what exactly is love? So we all have an idea of what love is and what love might actually look like. Okay? So it can be, for those of you who study language or are educators or just love to have information shared with you. Love can be either a noun or a verb. So let's talk about it very briefly. Love, in some people's vocabulary, means an intense feeling of deep affection. Now, as I researched this word, I looked at it and I found that the noun and the verb definitions are very, very similar. So, what I found for the verb is love is feeling deep affection for someone. So, you either have an intense feeling, which is the noun portion of it, or a verb where you're feeling it really deeply. And it's still affection for someone, or in some instances, something. But for this podcast, we're talking about for someone. Because so many of you hit me up and say, Dr. Tammy, I am ready for love. All right, then, let's get with it. So, the next thing that comes with that is understanding how do you show love. So last Saturday, I had the pleasure of being on a show with one of my sorority sisters, and it was a live Facebook. And we talked a bit about what love looks like. How do you show it? And I need to remind us all is that love is going to look very differently for each of us because we have our own expectations. We have our own idea of how it should look and how it should feel. But in speaking with so many of you and researching it, because you know me, I've got to look into it so that when I come and talk to you about it, you're hear what the research says, what the literature says is what we call it. So if you're showing love, here are some words that popped up: unselfish, loyal, supportive, giving of your time. And then I heard someone say, not just time, Dr. Tammy, but quality time. Doing things for someone. Physical touch. So let's ponder for a moment. What does it look like for you to be unselfish? I know that for me, being unselfish means that no matter what it is that I'm doing, no matter what I have on my plate, I am going to make sure that if you need me for anything, I'm there. I'm concerned about your needs as much and sometimes more than I am concerned about my own needs. That's what being unselfish looks like to me. But for you or the next person, it could look very differently. Being loyal. This is a good one for me because I have been tried, as you all know, in relationships because I've shared that with you. But as I continue my journey towards love, loyalty to me is if I am not around, you are still being true to who you are and who we are together. There's no need for there to be any concern about any negative actions because you are being true to what we've said that we're going to do. And if you've been following me, you know that I am probably more loyal than I should be because I take it very seriously. If I say to you that I believe something, or I believe in you, or I believe in us, or I believe in something that we have agreed to do, then I am going to stand firm in that. I am going to stand true to what it is that we said we were going to do. And I'm not going to deviate away from that. Again, that's what loyal looks like for me. May be different to you. And again, that's a very simplistic idea of what it looks like for me. Support, 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 support. So many of you have said that when you are dating and when you are wanting to be in love, you need that support. I can't dispute that, because if you are dating someone, seriously dating someone, you have decided that you're in a committed relationship, then you should support each other. Whatever is going on, whatever one needs, we support the other, because hopefully the two of you are actually building something and going somewhere together. Do you see what I'm saying? So you're going to support what's happening for your person, for your partner. And again, you may even be married. So you're going to continue to support each other as you build your life together. Giving up time. This is a big one. This is a really big one. So many of you have asked me, why is it so difficult for people to find time? I've even been told things such as, well, if they don't make time for me, Dr. Tammy, yes, and with the neck roll as well, if they're not making time for me, Dr. Tammy, then they don't care anything about me. I challenge you in that regard. I want you to look at that person, the person that you're dating, and determine where it is in their life. What is it that they're doing? And did you also already know they were doing these things? For example, did your person just start a new business? Are they an entrepreneur? Are they at a place in their life where they have to have boots on the ground almost all day long? They have to be ripping and running. I said I would never say that growing up, but my grandma would be proud. I used it right. Or should I say I used it correctly? Excuse my grammar. They are ripping and running because of this new business or whatever it is that they're doing. And they're trying to build something not just for themselves, but something for the two of you. Is that why they're busy? Now, on the flip side of that, if you are that person who is extremely busy, you're trying to make sure that your vision is being met, that your dreams are being met, that they're going to come true at some point. In order for your person to understand that they are special to you and that you want them to be a part of your life, you do need to find some kind of time. Now, we're not saying that you need to be with this person 24 hours a day, unless that's something the two of you have agreed upon. But if you are extremely busy, what makes your person feel special is if you set aside some time during the day for a text message, a quick phone call, just a quick check-in. That's what I call them. Just a check-in and say, hey, how you doing today, babe? I'm really busy. I got a few minutes. I wanted to check in with you to make sure you're all right. When your person knows that you took that time away from what you're doing, took that time away from the money that you're trying to make, to step in and say, you all right? Are you good? Is that working for you? Absolutely. Because for me, if I know you are swamped, if I know your days are often 12 to 14-hour days and you took a moment throughout your day, a few minutes to check in with me, and then I in turn can check in with you, that's amazing because I know what you're doing. I know you're trying to get boots off the ground. I know what your vision looks like, but you still took the time for me. Now, does that mean that you shouldn't try to spend the actual time in the same space? Absolutely not. It means that the two of you decide how much of that time should be for the two of you. How should that look? That's a decision that you make together. That's a conversation that you have early on. And I tell people all the time that if you know exactly what it is that you're looking for when we're talking about going on your journey to love, these are conversations you have all the way up front, not 6 or 7 months down the road. I'd say right now that on those first couple of dates, you need to have these tough conversations. And I'll call them tough conversations, but they're really courageous because once you put out there what it is that you actually need, then that gives that other person the opportunity to determine early on, first few dates, whether or not that's something that they can do. And in that turn, no one has spent too much time trying and trying, knowing that's not what was in their heart, knowing that's not what they could physically do for you. So, yes, time is important. The amount of time is continued upon the two of you. Doing things for someone doesn't have to be anything extravagant. I shared this on Saturday. It can be the little things because, as you know from me, I'm all about the free what? Ish. If you can find something, even on the side of the road, a flower, something that was sweet, hey, I'm down with that. And you know how I feel about taking out that trash on Wednesday night and take some time away from what I need to be doing. And you can do that for me because you thought about it. You knew how much I hated it. You do it for me anyway. That's free. That's simple. You know, people seem to think that it has to be something extravagant that you do for your person. It doesn't. It can be the thought for things. Can we have a picnic in the backyard? Can we cook a meal together? Or can you cook a meal for me because you know I cook all the time for everybody? It's those things that you do to make your person feel special because you know that it is something that he or she likes or he or she desires. It could be a long ride where we're having an entire concert because you know how much I enjoy music. Think about your person. Think about what they like and do those things. And they don't have to cost a dime. However, if extravagant things are your thing and they fit your wallet, then that is up to you. But so many of us don't need the big extravagant things. We are more interested in the amount of thought that you put into it. And that's what makes it feel so special for us. The last thing that came upon the short list that we have, because if I listed it all, we'd be here all day and possibly tomorrow, was the physical touch. Now, before you get so excited, let's be clear that physical touch doesn't always mean sex. Yes, I have to say the word. It doesn't always mean sex or intercourse. I know you don't like to say that word, so we'll keep it at sex. Physical touch can mean holding my hand, just touching my shoulder as you walk by, sitting next to me on the couch. And yes, I often use myself as an example, but when I'm speaking to people, this is what they're saying that they need. I had someone tell me that for them, physical touch is their love language. And I can relate because it is mine as well. They want their hand held. They want you to embrace them. Because as I was speaking with them, they shared that when they're having a really, really bad day, all that they need, all that they really need to make it better is when their person is in their presence, is to just hug them. Because for them, it makes their world feel all right. And let me just say this I can agree with that because when you're single, like me, for example, and you're having a bad day, who is there for you to call and share that with? Who is there for you to wait to come in that evening and just embrace you and make you feel better about whatever it was? Because when you get that hug, that embrace that the person was sharing with me, it does make you feel like, you know what? I got this. I can move on past that. My person is here. He or she has said, great, you got this, babe. And you do feel that physical touch can do that for you. Physical touch can make you feel like nothing else in this world exists except for that exact moment. It can give you the time to regroup. It can give you the time to say, it's not that serious. It is absolutely not that serious. But in the moment in which you were experiencing it, it was serious for you. So physical touch can work wonders, believe it or not. It can do that for you. Now, the last thing I want to say about love is that, I had to look at what the word said. And I'll keep it brief because I said I wasn't going to keep you too long, but I missed you. So I'm talking a lot today. The word reminds us that love is shown through your deeds and through truth. So when I hear that, I think back about some of those definitions that we spoke of earlier, and that love is not just a feeling, but it is an action. And not just one action, but a combination of all of your actions towards someone. And I think that it is important for us to remember that on our journey to love, as we date, as we decide to commit to someone, we must remember to give that person grace. And I say this to you all the time because no one, absolutely no one, is perfect. I challenge you to open your hearts. I challenge you to receive love because in my conversations with people, it has come to my attention that some of you are just downright afraid. You are scared to death of love for one reason or the other. Some of you have been hurt, some have been traumatized. But I remind you as I end this episode that that current person isn't the previous one. Give them a chance. Allow them to be who it is that they are. Allow them to show you that their actions are matching their words. Do your best not to shy away from someone who is truly, and I mean truly, showing you that they care for you. Be open to that. Be open to that. Because if you're telling me that you really, really, really want to be in love and that that's your journey, that is the desire of your heart, then you must be open. You cannot continue to be guarded. You cannot think that every person is exactly like the last one. You can't live in the past. Please try your best to live in the present. Embrace these moments with the person looking at you right now or trying to be in your space. If they're showing you, if they are showing you how they feel, believe that. Believe that. So on this day that people are practicing love, I say, don't let this be the only day. Show love all year long because truly that is what it is about. This one day simply allows you to do a little more if you so choose. But I need you to love every single day and think about what we've said today. Please and thank you. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I'm glad to be back. Chat with you later.